Welcome to the APVA Awards 2024. Let the celebration begin.
Technology and innovation. And now, for the Technology and Innovation category. This award honors podcasts that shape the future. And the nominees are the Open Africa podcast by Furo, Nusa, and Laulu, Nigeria. Mtambo podcast by Duke Mtambo, Kenya. Z Alpha with Dean Makubre, South Africa. Power Talks by Ronald Suna. And the winner is Mtambo podcast by Duke Mtambo. Kudos to Duke Mtambo. Your podcast has demystified tech, making it accessible and fascinating for us all.
Health and Wellness. Pathways to Wellness. Our Health and Wellness Award recognizes podcasts that promote healthy living of the body and the mind. And the nominees are Power of Sleep with Rest Tonic by Dr. Alison Bentley, South Africa. Heal Your Mind with Tracy Lee Kotzen, South Africa. Being You with Lisa Raleigh and Stafford Marcier, South Africa. MedX Tech Africa podcast by Samuel Oti, Kenya. And the winner of the APVA Health and Wellness podcast category 2024 is Heal Your Mind with Tracy Lee Kotzen. Huge congratulations to Heal Your Mind with Tracy Lee Kotzen. Your podcast has empowered us to take control of our health and live better.
Hello, I'm Tracy Lee Kotzen, the host of Heal Your Mind, and this is the behind the scenes team.
I'm Hazel Lamponya. I'm the executive producer.
Hello, my name is Tawanda Msakwa, and I'm the assistant producer.
We would like to thank the APVA for the nomination and the award. We're excited and grateful.
This podcast, Heal Your Mind, was created to destigmatize, demystify, and prioritize mental health and wellness, not only in South Africa, but across the continent.
Thank you for the nomination. Thank you to the Mental Wellness Initiative team. Thank you, Solid Gold Studios. Thank you for our voters. And thank you to all our listeners.
Another production from Solid Gold Podcasts.
The next category is Spirituality Podcast. Exploring the mysteries of life, our Spirituality Podcast Award honors shows that nourish our souls. And the nominees are Worship Gear Podcast by Diego Domingo, South Africa. You Can Rest Here by Mazino Malaka, Nigeria. Teens Talk with Nifemi by Awobajo Oluwanifemi Ayomide, Nigeria. The Self-Propelled Flower Podcast by Tapiwa Simukwai, Zambia. The Chai Lounge with Safira Kaka, South Africa. And the winner is The Chai Lounge with Safira Kaka. Cheers to Safira Kaka. Your podcast has provided guidance and comfort, helping us all connect with something greater.
Good evening and peace be upon you all. I am honored, humbled, and so grateful to receive this award for the Chai Lounge podcast. I want to express my gratitude to the APVA for recognition of our work in the podcasting space. And this podcast would not be possible without the entire team at Solid Gold Studios, my family and their relentless support of my goals, and a huge thank you to my loyal listeners. I love and appreciate you all, and thank you for following me through this next chapter in my career. Shukran for this beautiful honor. As a Muslim woman, I can't wait to keep sharing stories relevant to my culture and community with the rest of the continent and the rest of the world. You are all certainly going to see and hear more from me. Thank you once again from the bottom of my heart.
Children's Podcast, Imagination and Wonder for Young Minds. Our Children's Podcast Award celebrates shows that educate and entertain. And the nominees are Represented Podcast, Storybooks for African Kids by Tonye Falogi and Ugo Ekezie, Nigeria. Kabrazin by Kabrazin Consortium, Kenya. Solid Gold Storytime by Lynn Joffe, South Africa. Z Alpha with Dean Macobre, South Africa. And the winner of the APVA Children's Podcast category 2024 is Solid Gold Storytime by Lynn Joffe. Congratulations to Solid Gold Storytime. Your podcast has brought joy and learning to children everywhere, inspiring a love of storytelling.
Hello everyone, I'm Lynn Joffe, aka Auntie Lala, and I'm the writer, composer, narrator and producer for a brand new podcast series, Solid Gold Storytime. I'm absolutely thrilled to be announced as the winner in the children's category for this year's African Podcast and Voice Awards. I really appreciate the acknowledgement our podcast has received in such a short space of time. If I can do it, you can do it. It's just a jump to the left and a pivot to the fastest growing entertainment platform in the world. Children's stories with a purpose have poured out of me for many years. I've created them for sheer kiddie pleasure, as well as for blue-chip brands who want to connect emotionally with their audience. Our episodes comprise story songs, episodic narratives, animal tales, nursery rhymes, and insights into the wonderful world of storytelling for very young children. Thanks to Adam Howard for the stories we've written and produced together, and to my other half, Herlo, for the studio recordings and edits, and to the team at Solid Gold Podcasts for bringing me so generously into their ambit. I hope this is just the beginning of a long and fruitful relationship with the heard word in podcast form. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. Thank you.
Career and entrepreneurship, success stories, insights and inspiration. Our Career and Entrepreneurship Award honors podcasts that fuel our professional growth. And the nominees are The Sound of Accra podcast by Adrian Daniels, Ghana. The One-Eyed Man podcast by Mike Stopforth, South Africa. Listen to Your Footsteps by Kojo Bafo, Ghana. Becoming the Product by Naya, Nigeria. The Entrepreneurs Lodge podcast by Tosin Olomu, Nigeria. The Curse of the Creative podcast by Polo, Bongani, Justin, Rafilo, and Richie, South Africa. And the winner is Becoming the Product by Naya, Nigeria. Cheers to Naya. Your podcast has provided valuable guidance and support, helping us all achieve our career goals.
Education, empowering knowledge and inspiring learning. The Education Podcast Award nominees are the Mazungumzo, African Scholarly Conversations Podcast by Training Center in Communication, TCC Africa, Kenya. What a Joke Podcast by Adebayo Oduwole, Nigeria. EduThink Podcast by Education Incorporated, South Africa. The Educated Africana by Tebogo Kangote, Zambia. Buki Shamos Podcast by Mosimi Alaki, Nigeria. And the winner of the APVA Education Podcast category 2024 is The Educated Africana by Tebogo Kangote. Kudos to the Educated Africana. Your podcast has made learning accessible and engaging, empowering us all to grow.
For those who keep us informed, enlightened, and aware, our next category celebrates the best in news and current affairs. And the nominees are The Times Live in the News by Times Live Audio Team, South Africa. Podcasts from the Edge by Peter Bruce, South Africa. Just Us and the Climate, Climate Justice Coalition by Just Us and the Climate Justice Coalition, South Africa. Raw Conversations by Chromes and Fanatic, Nigeria. Investment Terms by Chukunonso Mordi, Nigeria. And the winner is Just Us and the Climate, Climate Justice Coalition by Just Us and the Climate Justice Coalition. Cheers to Just Us and the Climate Justice Coalition for delivering fact-based reporting and insightful analysis. Your podcast is a trusted source.
Hi everyone, I'm Bali Baduza, the Deputy Secretary of the Climate Justice Coalition.
And I'm Shazia Abraham, and I'm the Digital and Communication Specialist at the Coalition.
On behalf of the Coalition, we want to thank the APVA. Thank you so much for this award for the Just Us and the Climate podcast under the category of news and current affairs.
We also really want to thank all of our members and partners for giving their voice to the podcast, and importantly also for telling their experiences of how climate change affects them from the bottom up.
And thank you congratulations to the other nominees. What we're trying to do with this podcast is bring climate change back down to earth. It's not only a crisis, but also an opportunity to build a better and just world. So thank you.
Music, harmony and rhythm unite. Our music award celebrates podcasts that bring us closer to the beat. And the nominees are Shotgun Story by Tori, South Africa; Afrobeats Weekly, Nigeria; Bulela Podcast by Inutu J. Mubanga, Zambia; The 80s Show by Paulo Diaz, South Africa; The Tribe UG Podcast, Uganda; Quite the Ordinary Podcast, South Africa. And the winner of the APVA Music Podcast category 2024 is Shotgun Story by Tori. Cheers to Shotgun Story. Your podcast has created a symphony of sound that resonates with us all.
Hi, I'm Shotgun Tori from the Shotgun Story podcast, and I wanted to say thank you so much to the APVA for this award. It really highlights the voices of South African independent musicians, and I think I can say from all of us that we're grateful. It's an honor.
Finance, empowering us with knowledge to manage our finances wisely. The Finance Award nominees are The Marketing Pulse by Mukwemba Mangagu, Zambia; Money Web Now by Simon Brown, South Africa; Investment Terms by Chukwunonso Modi, Nigeria; Epokotweni by Babalwa Nonkenge, South Africa. And the winner of the APVA Finance Podcast category 2024 is The Marketing Pulse by Mukwemba Mangangu. Kudos to the Marketing Pulse for providing expert financial insights and guidance. Your podcast is a valuable resource.
The next category is comedy. Laughter is the best medicine, and this podcast are the best prescription. The Comedy Podcast Award nominees are Convos and Cocktails by Leseko Tlabi, South Africa; What a Joke by Adebayo Oduwole, Nigeria; The Break Time Podcast by Denver Bagaka, Kenya; Mefro Podcast by Gerda De Souza and Diane Broderick, South Africa; The Spectrum Podcast by Danana, Nigeria; Talk with Rams by Rams Mabote, South Africa. And the winner is Mefro Podcast by Gerda De Souza and Diane Broderick. Cheers to Gerda De Souza and Diane Broderick for tickling our funny bones. Your humor and wit are contagious. Rising Talent of the Year. Shining a spotlight on the future stars of podcasting. The Rising Talent of the Year nominees are The Sanyin Podcast by Rugaba John Paul, Uganda; Teens Talk with Nifemi by Awobajo Oluwanifemi Ayomide, Nigeria; Mixed Feelings Over Mixed Drinks by Lily Bekele Piper and Julie Githri Goko, Kenya; The Black Flame Podcast by Gaze Baba, Nigeria; Safari Conversations, the podcast by Singita, South Africa; Mama Tales Podcast by Sally Kuria from Kenya. And the winner is Teens Talk with Nifemi by Awobajo Oluwanifemi Ayomide. Congratulations to Awobajo Oluwanifemi Ayomide on this impressive achievement. Your talent and dedication are inspiring a new generation of podcasters.
Podcast Art of the Year, celebrating the creative genius behind the mic. The Podcast Art of the Year Award nominees are Safari Conversations, the Singita Podcast by Singita, South Africa. Made in Africa by Kemeshi Samuel, Nigeria. In My Voice Podcast by Abbas Bwanaheri, Uganda. The Educated Africana by Tebogo Kangote III, Zambia. Dangerously Honest by Suzanne Kitani, Kenya. Unspoken Podcast by Awino Awiti, Kenya. And the winner is Unspoken Podcast by Awino Awiti. Bravo to Unspoken Podcast. Your unique style and vision have pushed the boundaries of audio artistry, inspiring a new wave of creativity. Best Audiobook Performance. We're now delighted to present the Best Audiobook Performance Award. This category celebrates the talented individuals who bring stories to life with their voice, tone, and emotion. And the nominees are Stars of the Morning, South Africa. Wildlife and Warfare, South Africa. Halley's Comet, South Africa. And the winner of the APVA Best Audiobook Performance is Halley's Comet. Congratulations!
Hello, I am Shannon Kennedy.
Hello and welcome.
Hello and welcome. I'm Shannon Kennedy.
And I'm Gavin Kennedy, and together we're
Solid Gold Podcast
and audiobooks.
We'd like to say a huge congratulations to... Nope, we didn't want to start it.
You want to start with... Wait, look at the camera for a little bit. Don't look serious. Smile.
Hello.
And we're very excited. Do I sound excited?
You sound very excited. We would like to remember what the script was.
We're very excited.
We're very excited.
To be hosting
and partnering.
To be partnering,
and hosting. Okay. Hello and welcome. I'm Shannon Kennedy.
And I'm Gavin Kennedy, and we're from Solid Gold. Wait. And we're from... Okay.
This is hard.
Yeah, because we don't have a script, man. I told you, work on the script.
Don't we have an auto cue?
What? Do I look scrawny on camera? Does it take off 5 pounds?
No, I meant your stuttering.
You're gonna pull your weight, is that what you were trying to say?
Pull your weight, put on some weight. No, that's not right. Okay, we can do another one. And we really want to give a huge shout out. Can you work with that?
I can try.
Another production from Solid Gold Podcasts.